Okay, this is slope 301, 131. We're finding the rate of change, aka slope, and we're finding it when we are given, in this case, we are given an x value. They want to know y. Find y when x is given. So recall all this stuff you've been working on. Um, the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept, which is where the line intercepts the y-axis on a graph. And then we're going to find answer this question here. So let's start. There's basically three steps. Find the slope, y2 minus y1. So I'm going to take 2 minus 1 over 6 minus 4. So that's 1 over 2. This was my y's over my x's. My slope is 1/2. So m equals 1/2. That is your rate of change. Okay, so now we have to do some other things. We have to next find b. So I'm going to use this equation here, y equals negative 1/2. I'm going to pick a pair of points from my table. So y, I'm going to call 1/2 times 4, because that's x, plus b. This will allow me to isolate b and solve for b. So 4 times 1/2 is 2. So 1, I've substituted 1 in. 1 equals 2 plus b. So we're going to subtract 2, subtract 2. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1 equals b. So now I have all the parts, and I can substitute in this in order to for x in order to find the whole thing. So it would look like this: y equals, which is what I'm trying to find, when the value of x is 9. M we found to be 1/2. X they want to be 9, plus b we found that to be negative 1. So 1/2 times 9 minus 1. So you can use your calculator if you need to. So I just go 1/2 times 9. I like to do plus negative 1. Tells me that my answer is a positive 3.5. So when x is 9, y is 3.5. So does that make sense? Because look here, 8 is 3, 9 is 3.5. So that looks like a little bit of change. Okay, let's try a second one. First thing we do is we find the slope. Negative 4 minus a minus 4. So, that means we end up with 0 over 2. So that presents a special problem. I should have spotted this right away, but do you see how they're all negative 4s? When when the y's are all negative 4s, the rate of change is 0, because we're creating a line where every y is negative 4. So we're creating a flat line. So if all the y's are the same, the rate of change is 0. And then what is the y value when the x is 9? Well, it's always going to be negative 4. Okay, so that one was a little bit, we got to just recognize that. Let's go to another one here. I want to see if there's one where all the x's are the same. Okay, here's one on the other hand. This one where all the x's are the same. So when all my x's are the same, what's going to happen is we're going to create a line that's like this: 4, 1, 4, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to go up and down. And if you recall, that's undefined. Okay. And then what is the y value when x is 8? Well, x's are always 4. So this is an impossible solution. You would say impossible on the computer. That's when all your x's are the same. Okay? Let's go back here and try some of these again one more. Remember the steps right here. First, we're going to find the slope. So 1 minus 3 over negative 4 minus 2. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. So oh, I messed that up. That's a positive 4. So 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay. So negative 2 over positive 2 is a negative 1. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So my rate of change is negative 1. So first thing I do is I find the slope. Next thing I'm going to do is find b by substituting in a pair. So I'm going to take this right here, this pair, y equals mx plus b. So 3 equals, we found m to be negative 1 times x is 2 plus b. Okay, so 3 equals negative 2 plus b. Add the opposite to both sides. B is equal to 5. So I got the rate of change. Now find what is the y value when x is 8. So I'm going to use this and plug in the parts that I found. Y equals negative 1 times 8 plus 5. So that's negative 8 plus 5. Negative 8 plus 5 is y will be negative 3. So when the x value is 8, y would be negative 3. And so if I look at this, 6 is negative 1. We're saying 8 is negative 3, and that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay? Again, this is 301-131. Follow the steps. Slope, find the y-intercept, find y. So for each of those, you use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. For part 2, you substitute a pair of points and m, which you found right here. And then part 3, you use all those parts.